It was supposed to be just another day in Atlanta. But the silence didn't last long. Not when NeNe Leakes, yes, the NeNe Leakes, decided she had been quiet for far too long. After years of secrets, whispers, and passive shade, NeNe finally cracked the code. And what came spilling out wasn't just tea. It was boiling, scalding truth. Truth that had been simmering behind cameras, woven between Bravo contracts, and hidden beneath fake smiles and rehearsed reads. This time, NeNe wasn't holding back. And at 55, she was more powerful, more fed up, and more honest than ever before. The question was never if NeNe would speak. It was when. And when the day came, Kenya Moore's name was the first one that left her lips. "Kenya didn't leave," NeNe said, pausing with that signature dramatic look in her eye. "She got played." It shook fans to their core, not because NeNe said it, but because deep down, everyone knew something didn't add up. Kenya's sudden exit from The Real Housewives of Atlanta had been wrapped in vague press releases, a few cryptic tweets, and then nothing. Just silence. Kenya, who had once called herself the Queen of Twirls and carried entire seasons on. Her back had vanished like mist in Georgia heat. And NeNe, she had been watching from afar. Until now. The story begins years ago, during the early seasons, when Kenya Moore first walked onto the set in that tight white dress, armed with beauty, queen confidence, and a smirk that could slice steel. She came in loud, proud, and ready to steal scenes. And she did. But what Kenya didn't know then was that Bravo doesn't just make stars, they break them too. And that spotlight, it comes with a price. NeNe, the OG, had seen it all before. "They build you up just to break you down," she once said in a confessional years before Kenya's exit. But at the time, no one knew she was speaking directly to Kenya's future. At first, NeNe and Kenya clashed like oil and fire. Their on-screen fights were legendary. Miss Close Your Legs to Married Men and Miss Gone with the Wind fabulous. Locked horns over everything, from seating charts to shade grenades. But behind the scenes, the real game was being played in boardrooms, not at dinner parties. Sources close to production whispered about power moves, alliances, and sabotage. Contracts that were mysteriously delayed. Storylines that shifted overnight. Kenya was pushing for more control, more say, and more screen time. She wanted to secure her place not just as a cast member, but as the face of the franchise. And she thought she was winning. Until she wasn't. "She didn't read the room," NeNe said. She thought she could outsmart the machine. By season 15, things had changed. The audience felt it. Kenya's once electric energy seemed dimmer. Her storylines grew thinner, more disconnected. Behind the scenes, it was chaos. Kenya was allegedly butting heads with producers, demanding changes, even threatening to walk. But what she didn't realize was that someone else had already been positioned as her replacement. Someone the fans had been begging for. Someone Bravo could use to flip the script. Enter Phaedra Parks. Now, that was a curveball no one saw coming. After years of being exiled for the infamous drug dungeon rumor involving Kandi Burruss, Phaedra had quietly worked her way back into Bravo's good graces. She kept her name hot in interviews, showed up at Watch What Happens Live, and whispered just enough to stay relevant without getting dragged. It was a masterclass in silent strategy. And guess who helped open the door? Phaedra and NeNe were never enemies, an insider claimed. They understood each other, and NeNe knew bringing Phaedra back would shake the table. According to the bombshell NeNe dropped in her tell-all live stream, Kenya's exit wasn't about her leaving. It was about her being pushed. Behind closed doors, Kenya had allegedly tried to block